thought in a million years that it would turn out like this with fans coming out and sellouts happening. And now we're at the Hall of Fame where there's, 10,000 seats and we're selling that out or close to with a conference game, but not a postseason game. So it is just tribute to this team and other teams like Texas where people want to see good matchups. They want to see good athletes playing hard in a competitive environment. So it's going to be fun, and I'm just so proud of the Sooner fans for coming out because they've all been lining up out here trying to get in. So now we finally have enough seats, and they're filling the seats. So I'm really proud of that.
Patty, obviously a Texas team this season that's been really good, but particularly offensively, I think they're top 10 in runs per game. Just maybe when it comes to your pitching staff, what kind of challenge is this for them, and maybe how much is this a measuring stick kind of where they're at?
Yeah, we've got a good challenge ahead of us, but we've also faced some really outstanding offensive opponents. So our pitchers are primed for it, ready for it, anxious for it, excited for it. I think it's going to be a good measuring stick this time of the season, but we we can't measure. There's no measuring right now. It's like you got to clutch up and step up because the road to the Big 12 championship is coming through Norman right now and through Hall of Fame. So we've got to be really playing well at our best. And one thing about Texas, they always make us better every time we play them. They are aggressive on the base pass. They move quickly. They're strong. They're well coached. I mean, there's a lot to bring to the table. And we've had two really good practices where we're very fine-tuning a lot of areas where we believe that they're going to try to expose us. So it's going to be a challenge for the pitchers without question, but they have shown that they're up for this challenge.
Patty, what did you think of your team's performance against Iowa State?
I wasn't happy with our first game at all, and we talked a little bit about that. It was more of a, all right, Sooners are coming into, just this little bit of an attitude of, we're here. And we had a good conversation about it, and they came back and understood the importance of not having those types of approaches or, when things, I need leadership. I need people to step forward and say, this is not where we're going. This is not good enough. And so we had some really good discussions about hard work and blue collar and what's at stake. I mean, Iowa State is a good team, and their record may not show it, but I know better. And so the response was good. The next two games I felt very good about. They responded on the spot.
And Patty, it seems like every time y'all played at Hall of Fame the last couple of years, it seems like Alyssa does something big. What is it about her makeup that allows her to flourish in that kind of environment?
Well, first, she embraces it, and anybody that embraces it has a good chance of flourishing. So she's not afraid of big moments. She is just so full of energy. She's constant competitor, always constant. And she's an athlete that will show that she's mad at herself if she doesn't get what she wants, but when she comes back that it's going to look different. And she always responds to her own outcomes. So I don't know. She likes all these guys like the big setting. They like the crowds. They like the energy. But you're right. I mean, she's unafraid. I think she loves that spotlight.
Kind of the question I asked Grace: does your program have a rival? Is there a rival? One specific rival?
I know we're supposed to. When I first got here, it was like, these are the two programs you hate. And I'm like, why? I don't know. I don't know anything about them. So, no, not really. I mean, we know battles that are coming, but we don't look at it like, ew, yuck, we hate. We don't do that. I think that's the beauty of this program is that we put value on any team that we play. And again, we want to play our best. We know the importance of it. So there are a few teams we've had a little bit of chippiness with, but not to the point of all-out war. We don't play our game that way.
The obvious schools, I think, when you look at Oklahoma State and you look at Texas, that's the natural rivalries,
Right.
of course. But you have ones like with UCLA and some of these Florida schools. I mean, it's not just in the geographical; it's nationwide as well. Just healthy
Yeah,
rivalries.
absolutely.
I guess. Is that the same?
Yeah, I think, like we had that series with Florida State, and all of a sudden they become a rival, but I don't look at them as a rival. I look forward to playing teams that are going to play the way we do, and that is play hard, because we're making each other better, and that's really, really important. So I don't, again, when I think of rivalry, I think of hate, and I don't know if that's the right way to think of it. But so if that's how it is described, then we don't have rivals.
Patty, Texas, this is a different Texas team from what you guys faced last year. Did you guys kind of get into them a little bit more? How different are they from last year's team?
They've got new leadership. I mean, they lost two really couple important players, and Jefferson was kind of the staple of their infield and their offense, as Mary Iacopo. So, young freshman, very talented. 4 pitchers that have thrown really strong innings that give you all kinds of different looks. I mean, we're out here trying to really measure ourselves up against a lefty, 70 miles an hour, hard in on left-handed hitters, hard in on right-handed hitters. I mean, we've got to be able to cover the plate. So pitching is a good, strong point for them. They've got some good speed. They try to create a little bit of chaos on an infield or an outfield. They'll keep running. I mean, they're not afraid to be very aggressive. So I think the style is the same. The makeup just looks a little bit different, but their numbers look like they haven't missed a beat.
And Patty, you talk about that, the pitching depth there. I think there was a point in maybe it was the first Iowa State game where they pulled their pitcher pretty quick there. Have you seen teams change their approach to you all in particular? So whether it's to try to just mix things up more and give y'all more looks than they normally would, maybe?
If they do, it's because it's not working very well. So it's like, okay, we got to see what's next. Iowa State was quite different. It was like I throw to 3 hitters, and then I'm pulling you out, and then you're coming in, you're throwing to the next. It was almost like it was all sequenced out. So it was a little bit difficult, but when you know what's coming, you're able to talk about it and flip your script on them a bit. But I've not seen it like it was at Iowa State. I mean, there were 5 pitchers, and then they re-entered the starter in the middle or the end. I just stopped keeping count. But I think it's hard sometimes for a defense to play behind a pitcher when they keep coming in and out like that. And I think it's hard for pitchers to kind of get a groove, because a couple of them got quick outs and they got pulled. I'm like, thank you. All right. So it was quite different. But I don't know that the softball world's going in that place, but I said this after Paige Parker, and I stand behind it. I will never put so much weight on one pitcher to try to get us through. And I look at teams kind of like Alabama right now, and their elite pitcher, and how they just keep throwing her out there, and it's like hard to maintain, especially as these hitters get better, and if you are not feeling fresh, refreshed, feeling good, arms good, legs strong, you're going to have a hard time getting some elite hitters out. So I'm very fortunate. I love the looks that we have coming out of the bullpen. I've got a starter that Nicole May could start all 3 games if she wanted to. But the beauty is they're not exhausted or overworked, and that you're starting to see that around the country a little bit more, and I think it's very effective.
And I also want to go back to Alyssa a little bit. How different of a player is she this year than she was a year ago?
She's extremely confident. I think she's just that fierce. You know, it takes a different kind of player to play third base. You have a different style about you, and she's just real gritty. She's real gritty. She's very prideful. She does not like mistakes. She doesn't like to lose, so it's always that in your face, let's go. Off the field, she's the most ridiculously funny person, like sound effects and things. I'm like, what is that? Who said that? She sings on the bus beautifully, and then she'll make some kind of noise. I'm like, who? I always want to know, who was that? Who made that? It's always her. She's like, she could work on cartoons and have all kinds of different voices, I think. So that's a fun fact for you. But she loves softball. And I think she loves the fact that she's here because she was in a tough position. There's something about her versus Texas that she's very excited about, and some of her former players that she played with at Oregon were there, former coach was there, so it's, well, he recruited her, but she didn't play for him, but I don't know, she's just such a, like, win, love to compete, loves to get dirty. She's got that signature big stride step that everybody kind of mocks her with, but it's fun to watch her play.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.